Recently, the Toyota Tundra was redesigned. The last time I could say that, the B movie was in theaters. After filming a complete review on the 2022 Tundra and seeing the new 2023 model, I'm gonna go over all the reasons why I think this could be the best truck out there, and that it should at the very least spook the competition. Before we continue, if you enjoy fun, detailed car content without the fluff, consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications. Unless Toyota decides to add something later on, the only change for 2023 is the new SX package, which will come on the Tundra SR5 so long as you don't get the 8-foot bed or long bed crew cab models. It's basically a blackout package, dark accents inside and out, along with some smoky wheels. With that out of the way, let's get into the reasons why you should care about this big Toyota. So the first thing that I was pleasantly impressed by was the new 3.5 liter 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 engine under the hood paired with the 10-speed automatic, because both parts of the powertrain are really well tuned for this truck. The automatic is responsive with crisp shifts, the engine has immense torque, plus it never really feels like it has to shuffle gears or anything, and it's pretty efficient for what it is. We're talking 19 miles per gallon combined with four-wheel drive, or about 36% better than the old 5.7 liter, an engine I loved. And Toyota also offers a hybrid now that makes 0 sense economically, but packs quite the punch. Briefly, I'd like to thank the kind people over at Royal South Toyota in Bloomington, Indiana for letting me film with a few Tundras, including this gorgeous army green 1794 edition that is currently available at the time I'm posting this. Royal South is a straightforward, attentive dealership with great management. If you're in the market, check them out. Now, despite this engine being in each truck, you technically have 3 different outputs. The work grade SR makes 348 horsepower. And with 405 pound-feet of torque, that's more than the old truck's 5.7 liter. Once you go beyond that, the 479 pound-feet of torque, 389 horsepower, give this truck some legs. If you step up to the hybrid, it's also the same engine, except now you have a 288 volt hybrid system attached to it with the older nickel metal hydride battery underneath versus the newer lithium. Toyota did that supposedly for longevity purposes. But that's going to make 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque, a huge gain in peak twist. And that was the focus, not fuel efficiency. It improves gas mileage by 1 mile per gallon combined over the high output non-hybrid V6 when in 4x4 form. It carries an additional cost of $3,400 and is available on limited and up. Standard on your TRD Pro and Capstone. I think no matter what engine you choose, power is not going to be an issue. And it's not just a number game either. The power band is wide and the truck never feels like it's caught off guard. The downside to this new for Tundra engine is that it's new. A vast majority of new vehicles will have some teething issues in their first model years, but the Tundra's had some wastegate problems. Hopefully this goes away here soon, and due to supply chain issues, getting the thing fixed is taking some people a long time. The problem itself is from the electric wastegate actuator not functioning, so the truck has to go into limp mode so that way it doesn't send the turbo into orbit. But to access either turbocharger, the truck cab needs to be separated from the frame. This could likely be a small batch affected, and Toyota is well aware now, but it is still concerning and worthy to be mentioned here. Personally, I trust Toyota to take care of this issue, and it wouldn't keep me from ordering one unless reports become endless. Now, the next distinct pro to the Tundra is configurability, but where it matters. It's not too excessive, and you'll kind of know what I mean here soon. So, the truck does have like 7 different trims and a whole host of different packages, so you can pick and choose exactly what you want. So if you say want the SR5 trim, but you want a more sporty appearance or sportier ride quality, you can get the TRD Sport, which honestly there is a pretty noticeable difference in ride quality. If you want a smoother truck, you could just go with the standard suspension. You can get something like the SX package on there. Or you can go with this 1794 edition, which is a full-blown luxury truck, heated and ventilated seats, even in the back, 360 view camera, full LED lights with big LED daytime running lights, and this one has the TRD Off-Road package, which is available on a few different trims, and that also means it gets a rear locking differential, TRD off-road tuned suspension, and a few other goodies. So just like a lot of other trucks out there, Toyota does offer this in quite a few different ways. But where I think Toyota does something special here is that You don't need to spec it in a very particular way with a specific final drive ratio in order to get a higher towing capacity. Yes, some other trucks in this class can tow a little bit more than the 12,000 that this thing will peak out at. However, a vast majority of these trucks are going to tow around 10, 11,000 pounds, which is more than a lot of the other competitors. If you're going with a Ram, you have to, spec the 3.92 gearing and the 5.7 liter to do that, whereas this thing, a lot of them are already going to have the high output engine. You don't need to spec a different final drive ratio. And the payload capacity is still modest too. And those capabilities are my third reason why to buy this. However, I do wish that Toyota still offered maybe like a cheaper version that came with the 3.5 liter V6, maybe from the Tacoma, something that's just simple, durable, and yes, admittedly slow, but that way for the people that want a more tried and true truck, they can still get it. Something that was hands down the biggest selling point to the old truck. However, this thing handles so much better than the previous gen. It almost feels like they're from a different universe. This thing has coil suspension in the back opposed to the leaf springs in the previous truck, and it's also a fair amount lighter. It goes around rough, windy corners with few qualms. My only piece of advice there is, again, if you want the best ride quality, go with the standard truck. Or you can get the ABS system, which is available on the higher trims. It's a variable or adaptive dampening, which should help to give it comfort that's closer to something like a Ram.
And if you haul a lot, you can opt for a rear air suspension on SR5 and up that can automatically level the truck. My next reason, they knocked the interior out of the park. Not only does it feel durable with huge luxury potential as you climb trims, it looks fresh.
It's still very functional, but now it looks quite modern at the same time. The infotainment system, as I've gotten more used to it, is very simple. I still miss the lack of a home screen, and I do wish there was a tune knob as well, but you still have a very chunky volume knob, and everything is quite easy to use, simple layout, and it's just large. I do wish the seats were a little bit more contoured to my body, but I don't see myself getting bored of the Tundra cabin anytime soon. Plus, I love that more modern trucks are starting to do big panoramic sunroofs. It's pretty cool, and if you're buying basically a luxury truck, it's something that I would consider a must-have at that point. But still, you can get a crew cab with a 6.5 foot bed. You can get a double cab with an 8 foot bed. You can't do that with the Ram.
And that bed is the final reason why I would go with the Tundra.
And that bed is also a heavy-duty composite as standard, which is great. You don't need to line it with anything. For a vast majority of people, you're not gonna have to worry about dinging it or damaging it in any way. And this truck here also has the accessory non-skid spray and liner. But another couple things I really like about the bed. All trucks will have a remote release on the key fob, and it's a dampened tailgate, which adds a little bit of convenience. And if you go with a limited trim and up, you'll have a little bump switch there next to the tail light, which can help out in a pinch. And while this thing doesn't have optional tailgates that will shine your shoes like some of the other brands, a deployable bed step is available. Obviously, the new powertrain here is going to need to be proven over time. So the new Tundra can't exactly have the same perks that the old truck had, which is why I'm so glad that Toyota has put a lot of time and development into everything else as well. It is a much more well-rounded truck than it was before. Something that I see is quite competitive now with the domestic trucks. It's no longer a one-trick pony. Does that mean it's the best hands down? No, but it is worth now far more attention than it was in the past to new customers and people just interested in trucks in general.
This is just my take, so let me know your thoughts in the comments section, but with my highest priorities being quality, practicality, powertrain refinement, durability, and a fresh feel. Okay, that was kind of a long list, but either way, the Tundra would probably be the truck I would end up with if I was in the full-size market, only making me more excited to see what Toyota has in store for the new Tacoma and 4Runner.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and help me with my noble battle against the YouTube algorithm. If you want to see more, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. I'll catch you in the next one.